You can travel across much of Europe without ever showing your passport. So why does Europe still feel divided? Some of its most important borders can't even be seen. Today, you can board a train in Belgium and step off in the Netherlands, or live in Germany and work in Switzerland. Without ever stopping for a border check, millions of people cross these borders every day as if they don't exist, because some of Europe's deepest divisions were never visible in the first place. To understand why, we need to stop looking at today's maps and start looking at the borders you can't see. This is Strasbourg. At first glance, it looks like any other French city, but its architecture looks surprisingly German. Why? Because for centuries, Strasbourg didn't always belong to France. It changed hands multiple times between France and Germany. Every new government brought different laws, different identities, yet something remarkable happened. Every time the border moved, parts of the old identity stayed. That's why Strasbourg doesn't feel completely French or completely German. It's both. A border disappeared. Its history didn't. But history isn't the only thing that creates invisible borders. This is Belgium. It looks like one country, but beneath the surface, it's divided. Flanders in the north speaks Dutch. Wallonia in the south speaks French. A small community in the east speaks German. Over time, each developed its own identity. So why hasn't Belgium split apart? Belgium gave Flanders and Wallonia control over things like education and regional development, while the federal government in Brussels focused on national issues like defense and foreign affairs. It's not a perfect system, but it has kept Belgium together. Sometimes, unity isn't about everyone becoming the same. It's about finding a way to live with your differences. After centuries of war, Europe reached a different conclusion. Peace didn't come from stronger borders. It came from depending on one another through trade and free movement. Today, 29 European countries have removed routine border checks as part of the Schengen area. But here's the surprising part. Not all of them belong to the European Union. Countries like Switzerland, Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein are all part of Schengen. Yet they're not members of the EU. So why would a country open its borders, but stay outside the European Union? Because Schengen and the EU aren't the same thing. Schengen is about how people cross borders. The European Union is a much broader political and economic partnership. It includes a single market, shared laws and cooperation on many policies. By staying outside the EU, these countries keep greater control over their own laws, political decisions, and national priorities. In other words, they open their borders without giving up full political independence. The last invisible border isn't marked by checkpoints or language. It's measured in opportunity. So if Europe is so connected today, why do such big economic differences still exist? The answer begins with the Cold War. That is, when Europe was divided into a capitalist West and a communist East. For decades, each side developed under a different economic system. When the Cold War ended, most of Europe became connected again. But economies couldn't change overnight. Even today, wages, living costs, and job opportunities can still vary dramatically across Europe. Many of the physical barriers were removed. Economic ones can take generations to fade. And like every system, each came with its own trade-offs. Borders were never just lines on a map. They're shaped by history, identity, politics, and economics, creating invisible borders that maps can't show. And those invisible borders continue to shape millions of lives today. Schengen has made traveling across much of Europe easier than ever, giving travelers 29 countries to explore with remarkable ease. Which one have you visited? Or which one is first on your bucket list? Share your experiences below.